Hi, I wanted to touch base with all the parents on Team North Star because I know not everyone could make it to the open house last night, and I wanted to make sure you knew who I was and what we were doing in class this year. So we're learning life science this year, and this is Lizzo. She is the primary animal in our zoo. I got 5 things to go over, and I did it in less than 10 minutes during open house, so I'll make this brief. First off, I'm going to spend a lot of time with your children, so you should know who I am. I have a couple small kids of my own, 3 and 7 years old, and my wife is a biologist. She works in offshore wind farm permitting, and my degree is in environmental conservation. So it's a nice pairing, and I bring a lot of that into the classroom. My degree was in specifically how do we use science to make policy decisions? So, really, what are the applications of learning science, which is great at this age because they need to realize that there's things they can do with the information they learn in class. Given my passion for the environment, I wanted to do something to improve the situation we're in right now with climate change, and I figured the best thing I could do was teach. So I got my master's in curriculum and instruction. And then I started teaching. I've been teaching for 11 years now. I was in a behavioral program for a while, teaching kids that got kicked out of their own schools for various reasons. I did 3 years in Providence at the Rhode Island Nurses Institute. And then this is my second year now at Cole Middle School. Middle school is the exact right age for this. If students don't like science, by the time they get out of middle school, they won't take advanced courses in high school. And if they don't have that background in science in high school, they won't consider it for a college career. This is the most critical time to get kids excited about science and loving science so that they get through the hard classes and annoying teachers and whatever other stresses are in their way on the way to college. And that's how we get a scientifically literate community. So this is a very important age for science. So we're going to learn life science in here this year. We cover 6 different units using these phenomena as our backbone for our lessons. And it is all offered through Amplify, which is an online learning program that your students used last year. Students get pretty tired of Amplify. It's not their favorite thing to do. But as a teacher of 11 years, I can tell you that it is a solid online program for learning. And also, we will do a whole bunch of stuff that's not in Amplify. Last year, we did dissections of earthworms. We looked at pig hearts. We made board games. We did videos. We're going to do a lot of things outside of Amplify, but it will make the backbone of our curriculum. So this is a quick overview of all the different units we're going to do and the storyline related to each one. Each unit follows a storyline. So for instance, microbiomes, students are going to take on the role of student doctors, trying to figure out why a patient is sick and why antibiotics aren't working. And through that, we learn about the cell and bacteria and all that kind of related material. And then each unit will do a new story. Grading is the number one thing I get asked about. So 90% of the grade is based on test, quizzes, and projects, and 10% is based on classwork. What that means is right now your student has 2 grades in the book, and they're both practice assignments. And so your student has an A plus because they've turned in everything. As soon as I put this quiz we did on the metric system in, things are going to get a little shaky, and that grade is going to change a lot because that's going to be 90% of their grade. So suddenly that A plus is going to fluctuate. But as we do more test quizzes and projects, that will even itself out. And it should be known that I offer students the chance to improve their grade on tests up to an 80. So I will offer supplementary material that they can complete, and that will boost their grade on that quiz or test up to a maximum of 80, so that they never find themselves in a position where they are just being failed outright every single time. Um, so, my policies around the classroom and the work in the classroom is that there are no late penalties. I had a horrible experience in high school and I missed my freshman year. I made it all up the next year and managed to graduate on time. I don't know anyone who works in a professional environment who hits their deadlines every single time. There is no concern in my book for when the work is done. I'm not going to penalize them for learning something a week later than I wanted them to. So there will never be late penalties. And there will be no homework. Any homework I assign is work that did not get completed in the classroom. There's not a lot of research to back up homework as an effective strategy. The things that really improve grades are a good night's sleep, a good breakfast, and healthy relationships with their friends and family. So spend that homework time working on those things. My only requirement in class is that you must try to succeed. I will always meet the student halfway, no matter what is necessary to make them get there. I have taught students of all walks of earth in my last 10 years. There is no one that has never been able to not get the information. Anyone can learn this material. So as long as the students are trying, I will meet them halfway. I do use Morandi money. So I printed out this money with my face on it. And students can get those for doing all kinds of things in class, like reading out loud, answering questions, making observations, being kind to each other, maybe loaning a charger for their Chromebooks or something, and any other reason that I find that I want to give out a Morandi dollar. I don't track them. If they get lost, there's nothing that can be done about it. I don't know who has what, and they will frequently trade them between each other, and I'm totally okay with that. That means that they're effective. That means they want them and they are working. So I have a prize box that I keep that students can get a prize out of. They can rent my chair for the period. Once a month, I do slime time for $3, and it's a whole thing. I have foam beads and glitter and everything, and they can make slime. And then lizard lunches, they can come in and bring a friend, and I'll give them a tour of the animals. They can hold the lizards and stuff. That's another $3. And if there's something else they want, make me an offer. Like I'm willing to do whatever I need to make them pay attention and work through class. You've probably heard about our zoo. It's one of the more exciting things in the classroom. And I wanted to bring up roaches because I do raise roaches in the classroom, and there's a very good reason for it. My animals eat 25 to 40 roaches each day, sometimes more. It is hard to get that much food every day. They are a nutrient-rich food that's low in fats. It's very healthy for the animals, and I spend about $500 a year on food. So by putting that investment in a farm in the beginning to raise roaches, not only do I save money but I also teach sustainability, because now I've got this rotating system of growing roaches that the animals will eat. And an appreciation for gross bugs. All animals and all organisms have a very important role to play. And by breeding an appreciation for that, it really makes a huge difference in the way students perceive their environment. But I do hear your concerns. You should know that the roaches that I raise require high temperatures, high humidity, and months of care. Their eggs are large enough for you to see. You cannot catch roaches. These are not fleas. They are bigger than that, and they are not something that you're going to bring home by accident. But I also have roach traps scattered all over my classroom, and I have a kill first policy. So if you see one on the floor, you should definitely step on it. To date, in 2 years, I've never had any escapes, and I've never even had to use the traps, even though they're scattered around the room. Nothing's ever gotten out. So my zoo is pretty impressive at this point. We have a whole bunch of animals. I was written up in the East Greenwich Times for turning the 7th grade into a zoo, and I won first place in a national contest and got a $500 Visa gift card. I've been asked many times how people can help, so I did put together an Amazon wish list with some items on it that would help grow the zoo, as well as gift cards to these pet stores to get new animals, because they're very expensive, $50 to $150 a piece sometimes. Support is not necessary. This is in no way a requirement, and I don't want you to go out on a limb to order me things, because right now everything is running smoothly. But if you are interested in supporting the program, this is a good way to do it. If you ever have any questions, please reach out to me. I respond as quickly as I can. All of my emails go right to my phone. So if it's late at night or on a weekend, you might get the text-to-speech, brain gravy thought of whatever I'm thinking of to answer your question. But I will respond with a better email later to really flesh out and explain the situation. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And it's been great working with your kids, and I look forward to the rest of the year. Thank you.